Welcome back to Chapter 2 of our series, Build Apps Without Code, the No-Code Revolution. In this episode, titled Choose Your Tool, Matching Your Idea to the Right Platform, we'll explore the essential factors to consider when selecting a no-code platform that fits your unique vision. So, whether you're a seasoned creator or just starting out, let's dive in. Right now, somewhere in the world, a solo founder is clicking Publish on an app they built without writing a single line of code. In one afternoon. The strange part? Some of those apps will scale to real revenue, and others will quietly break. Same idea, very different tools. Some of those projects will become smooth, dependable products. Others turn into fragile prototypes that buckle the first time a dozen users show up at once. The difference often isn't the idea, or the person building it. It's whether the platform underneath actually matches what the project needs to do. In this episode, we'll zoom out from "what can I build" to "what should I build this on?" We'll look at the practical trade-offs between platforms that shine at public-facing sites, those built for data-heavy dashboards, and those designed to quietly run the workflows no one sees but everyone relies on. Think of this as learning to read the nutrition label on each no-code option, so you can tell, before you invest weeks of effort, whether it will fuel your idea or quietly cap its potential. Think of today as scouting the terrain before you pick a route. Under the no-code umbrella, you'll find website builders, mobile app tools, database, automation platforms, internal tool generators, e-commerce suites, and integration layers that quietly glue everything together. Each was born for a different job. Some excel at storytelling and branding, others at orchestrating data, others at stitching dozens of services into one coherent flow. Our goal now is not to pick a favorite, but to map which kinds of ideas naturally fit each category, so your concept lands on home turf, not hostile ground. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The wrong platform usually isn't objectively bad. It's just misaligned with what you're actually trying to ship. Start with the experience, not the tool. Are you trying to tell a story to the public, capture structured data, guide someone through a multi-step decision, or quietly move information between systems? A landing page announcing your product, a customer portal with logins, and a real-time operations dashboard are three different species of app. Even if they all live behind a URL, treat them differently. Next, be honest about complexity. Write down in plain language what has to happen for one user to succeed. Visitor fills a form. We get an email. We call them. Manager uploads a CSV. System validates each row. Mismatches get flagged. Valid rows update inventory. That sentence often reveals whether you're dealing with a simple form plus notification, or branching logic, roles, and state that will quickly outgrow drag-and-drop templates. Anywhere you start hearing, "except when," or "unless they already," you're entering logic-heavy territory that favors more expressive platforms. Then, think in terms of load, not just scale. How many people need to use this at the same moment? How many records can accumulate before performance matters? A tool that's fine for 3 teammates updating 500 rows may crawl when 300 customers filter 50,000 records. Vendor limits like records per base, operations per month, or workflow runs per day are early clues. Treat them like speed limits on a road you plan to drive every day. Budget and lock-in are less about sticker price and more about exit strategy. Can you export your data cleanly? Does the platform expose APIs so you can bolt on missing pieces later? If your idea works and you outgrow the tool, will migration be a project or a rewrite? Here's the paradox. The platforms that feel fastest at day zero are sometimes the ones that slow you down 6 months in. The right match often feels slightly overkill at the start, like choosing a bigger canvas than your first sketch seems to need, so your idea has room to expand without tearing the edges. A simple way to test fit is to trace one real project across a few platforms and see where it feels forced.
Take a small tutoring business. On Wix or Webflow, you'd quickly spin up a polished public page with bios, prices, and FAQs. But the moment you want parents to log in, track sessions, and see invoices, you've crossed into account logic, data security, and role-based views.
Now picture the same tutoring service in Airtable plus Zapier. You might keep tutors, students, and sessions in separate tables, then have automations send reminders and update status. That works beautifully, until you want each family to have a self-serve portal that filters only their data. Suddenly, you're stitching on another layer to expose that safely. Or consider a tiny marketplace of 3 local chefs. Starting on Shopify feels fast, until you realize each chef needs distinct menus, schedules, and payouts. That's where a more flexible app builder earns its keep. Not because it's better, but because your idea quietly turned into a cluster of interacting systems, not a single storefront. By the time today's students reach management roles, picking a platform may feel as routine as choosing the spreadsheet template. The next wave of tools will quietly blend text prompts, domain knowledge, and policy constraints. Draft a compliant onboarding portal for contractors in these regions. Instead of debating categories, you'll negotiate guardrails. Where data can live, who can change logic, which AI assistants are allowed to suggest flows, while the underlying stack shifts like weather behind the scenes, updated without asking permission. Treat this choice less like picking software and more like scouting a landscape. Where are the cliffs, floodplains, and hidden paths? List what must be true for your idea to feel effortless for users, then test platforms against that list. The closer the terrain matches your map, the less energy you'll waste fighting it, and the more you'll have for real innovation. Before next week, ask yourself, 1. If I forced myself to explain my core idea in a 60-second vertical video, a 10-tweet thread, and a 1,500-word blog post, which format actually makes the idea clearer? And what does that tell me about my best home platform? 2. Looking at the way I naturally communicate with friends, voice notes, long DMs, quick memes, detailed emails. Which platform? YouTube, podcasts, newsletters, short-form video, or long-form articles? Feels like the closest match. And how could I test that with one piece of content this week? 3. If I wasn't allowed to chase trends or algorithms and had to pick a platform I'd still be happy using weekly for the next year, which would I choose? And what's the very first, scrappy version of my idea I could publish there in the next 24 hours? This was Owl Up, your daily step forward. To keep learning with structured courses and more insights, go to owlup.co. Until tomorrow.